Lore Master Jito here. I'm the librarian of Azeroth, and I'm bringing you the lore straight from the books. Today we're reading the first section of Tales of the Hunt, written by Holt Thunderhorn of the Unseen Path. If you don't know who the Unseen Path is, it's a secret order of hunters founded by Night Elves after the War of the Ancients. It was established in High Mountain alongside the High Mountain Thorim, who supported their cause of defending against the Legion's return. The first section of this book covers Titanstrike, a rifle built by Titan Keeper Mimiron and gifted to Titan Keeper Thorim. Titanstrike. The brilliant Keeper Mimiron crafted many firearms, but Titanstrike was his crowning achievement. It was his first rifle, and he designed it to harness the raw fury of storms. Mimiron gave the weapon to his good friend Keeper Thorim to use in battle. Thorim was a legendary fighter who relished the hunt, and he wielded Titanstrike with great care and skill. No beast, no matter how mighty, could withstand the rifle's explosive power. With you, Titanstrike has found someone worthy of carrying on Thorim's legacy. Hunt wisely, aim true. Titanstrike was not conceived by a mortal mind, nor was it crafted by mortal hands. This rifle traces its origins to a mirthful being named Mimiron. He was one of the Keepers, a race of noble creatures who warred with the old gods and imprisoned the wicked entities beneath the earth. Some of Mimiron's fellow keepers could wield the fury of storms. Others were mighty warriors. Mimiron's strength was not physical, but mental. His intellect and creativity had no equal. Day and night, Mimiron tinkered away at unique mechanisms. He was especially fond of experimenting with weapons that the Keepers and their servants could use to protect Azeroth. When the Earthen suggested that Mimiron make something that could strike at enemies from a distance, the Keeper devoted himself to the challenge. Before long, he developed the first firearm in history, a rifle known as Titanstrike. Mimiron's inventions rarely worked as intended, at least not at first. He embraced the process of trial and error, often to the detriment of his faithful servants, the Clockwork Mechanomes. While testing one of the earliest versions of Titanstrike, Mimiron set a part of his workshop on fire and damaged over a dozen Mechanomes. The Keeper learned a great deal from the disaster. After repairing his injured servants, Mimiron fine-tuned Titanstrike. He took the next prototype to a stormy mountain peak, a remote place where no one would be injured if the weapon went haywire. Mimiron's decision to test Titanstrike atop a mountain peak proved disastrous, but it was also illuminating. He had forged the newest version of the rifle with a mix of rare metal alloys that unintentionally attracted electricity. When Mimiron fired the weapon, a bolt of lightning leapt from a storm cloud and blasted Titanstrike into two pieces. Mimiron wasn't angry or disappointed. He was ecstatic. The accident gave him an idea. The Keeper would reassemble Titanstrike, and he would embrace its connection to the elements. He would infuse it with the power of storms. From Chapter 4 of The Storm Thieves by the historian Evelina. Mimiron needed help to make his idea of Titanstrike a reality. He needed Keeper Thorim. Thorim commanded the crackling powers locked within the skies. His lair, the Temple of Storms, acted as a conduit for thunder and lightning. It would serve as the perfect forge to remake Titanstrike. One day, as an angry tempest churned over the temple, the two Keepers went to work. Thorim wrestled with the winds and the lightning until they bent to his will. He gathered the storm and all its fury into a concentrated orb of energy called the Thunder Spark, and then he bound it to his temple. Mimiron was ready. He channeled the Thunder Spark into Titanstrike. Lightning rocked the temple before the Keeper finally sealed the wrathful storm inside the rifle. From Chapter 11 of The Storm Thieves by the historian Evelina. The Earthen have a legend of a time when the sky went mad. It is said that thunder rolled through the heavens from distant corners of Azeroth for weeks on end. Most of the Keepers thought something terrible had happened, that the sky itself had broken, but Mimiron ignored the sounds. Several Keepers, led by Loken, followed the thunderous noise across the world. They finally tracked its source to an island far to the south, where monstrous Devilsaur and other scaled creatures roamed. There, the Keepers discovered Thorim and his two wargs, Hati and Skoll, in the midst of a hunt. Loken hurried to the Keeper's side to warn him of the sky's unrest. That was when he realized that Thorim himself was responsible for it. Thorim had received Titanstrike from Mimiron shortly after its creation, and he'd wasted no time using it in his favorite hunting grounds. His own energies amplified the rifle's explosive power. Every time he fired it, a thunderclap would split the heavens and rumble over the world. From Chapter 20 of The Storm Thieves by the historian Evelina. The only beast to escape Thorim and his wargs on their great hunts was a monstrous Jormungandr worm. The creature, covered in thick plates of white stone, was the largest of its kind ever to exist. When Thorim discovered the worm, he took aim with Titanstrike. His first shot cracked the Jormungandr's stone hide. Before he could fire again, his prey leapt forward and knocked Titanstrike from his grasp. Thorim pummeled the worm with his bare fists and forced it to burrow into the earth. So began a hunt that would last decades. Thorim and his wargs tracked the Jormungandr across the north, battling the worm wherever it emerged from the ground. In his last encounter with the beast, the keeper landed a shot between its armored plates. The Jormungandr fled, and it was never seen again. Betrayal eventually shattered the unity of the keepers. Most were imprisoned within their fortress of Ulduar. Thorim sank into depression and secluded himself in the Temple of Storms. Even hunting no longer made him happy, and he stored Titanstrike in his lair. Ages passed, and the keeper's servants spread across the icy north. The Vrykul formed clans and sought to dominate the land. A warrior named Voland yearned for more than that. He dreamed of lording over every Vrykul. To do so, he searched for the powerful mechanisms and weapons crafted by the keepers. Voland's journeys would bring him to a lone mechanome. The Vrykul took the defenseless clockwork creature prisoner and forced him to reveal information about Mimiron's creations. From the mechanome, Voland learned of Titanstrike and its location. Following Loken's betrayal, Thorim secluded himself in the Temple of Storms. He often drifted off into bouts of fitful sleep for years on end, while Hati and Skoll roamed the wilds as they pleased. Voland waited for one of these periods of slumber to steal Titanstrike. He ensnared a mighty protodrake and used the beast to ascend to the Temple of Storms. Right under Thorim's nose, the bold Vrykul pilfered Titanstrike and fled the keeper's lair. After Thorim awoke and discovered that Titanstrike was missing, he called Hati and Skoll to his side. The wargs and their master picked up Voland's trail and stormed after him. The Vrykul narrowly stayed one step ahead of his pursuers, but he knew he could not do so forever. Thorim and his wargs were legendary hunters. They would eventually track down Voland and punish him. Along with his captured mechanome and the relics he had uncovered, Voland escaped to the north. He journeyed far to the south, to a land he'd only heard stories of, a land known as Stormheim. From Chapter 3 of The False Keeper by the historian Lore. Voland bragged of his might, and he demanded that Stormheim's Vrykul follow his command. Of course, they did not obey him. Not yet. A few Vrykul stepped forward to silence the arrogant newcomer. Voland felled them all with Titanstrike, each shot booming like a giant's footstep. When the Vrykul witnessed Voland's power, they were in awe. He wielded the strength of the keepers, and therefore they believed he must have earned the mystical being's favor. Voland declared himself warlord, and he rallied Stormheim's warriors under his banner. He and his army marched out from Stormheim to conquer the surrounding land for the glory of the Vrykul. From Chapter 7 of The False Keeper by the historian Lore. Warlord Voland had the strength of numbers and the weaponry needed to bring the lands around Stormheim to heal. What he lacked was unity. As the Vrykul ranks made war against the mighty Drogbar near Stormheim, Voland grew suspicious of his followers. He believed they were planning to murder him and take Titanstrike for themselves. After all, if he had stolen it from a keeper, surely someone could steal it from him. Voland's paranoia drove him to torture and execute many of his allies. The bulk of the Vrykul soldiers abandoned the crazed warlord, and his once formidable army crumbled. Many years later, as Voland neared death, he ordered his enslaved mechanome and his few remaining Vrykul followers to bury him alongside Titanstrike. The warlord used the keeper-wrought mechanisms he had stolen as defensive wards to keep grave robbers out of his tomb. Even in death, Voland would let no one touch his cherished rifle. Fortunately, Titanstrike did not remain buried beside the would-be conqueror forever. The The rifle was not forged to spread terror or to dominate. It was forged to protect Azeroth. Now reclaimed, Mimiron's masterwork can fulfill its original purpose. It will strike wherever darkness stirs, and its thunderous report will herald the death of all who threaten the world or its people. And that was Titanstrike, from Tales of the Hunt, in the Hunter Legion Order Hall. Let me know your thoughts on the lore we uncovered today in the comments below. If you're craving more lore, here's a few recommendations from the collection to browse. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to activate your library card and check out more books with me, the Librarian of Azeroth. Thanks for watching.